Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Build at Home. I am your host, Ricky Camilleri, coming to you from my home in Brooklyn, New York. And I'm on the line in video chat right now with Mike Castle, one of the stars of the fantastic, hilarious new comedy on Netflix, Brews Brothers. Mike, good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, hi. Good to see you.
Before we get started talking about Brews Brothers, I want to say something that we say at the top of all these interviews, which is that over 700 million school lunches have been missed by students across the country, students in need who depend on those meals. If you would like to find out how you can help those kids get the meals that they are missing, please go to nokidhungry.org. Mike, good to see you. How are you? How are you doing? How are you holding up?
I keep hearing a lot of people saying, do this and do this to avoid going crazy. And I think that I missed the boat and I've just lost it completely now.
What does crazy look like for you? What have you been doing?
Very, very little sleeping. Lots of pacing. Yeah, it's very weird. It's like I'll go to bed and then I'll just lay and I'll stare off and then I'll just get up and I'll walk around my house and yeah, I'm like reading a bunch of books in like pieces right now. You know how when you have a few books on the docket, but then you're like, right now I'm just like, yeah, it's fine. I'll just go between 10 or 11 of these different books and read a couple pages at a time. It's psychotic. And then watching old 30 Rock.
It's impossible to focus sometimes, especially with books. I've found, like, I just finished a book this morning and it took me like 3 weeks, and it was not a book that should have taken 3 weeks, you know?
My focus is very low and my motivation is very low, but I'll have the tendency of wanting to overdo it like I would before all of this. So I'll be like, oh, I should just, like, one of the first books I started reading during this, I was like, I'm going to read War and Peace. We have time. And I started reading it, and then I was like 300 pages into that, and I was like, I should check out something else too. And then great. Perfect.
Yeah. That was like, I started reading that and I was like, this is so beautiful. I think I'm going to read an Elmore Leonard book though.
Yeah. It's very bizarre. It's I don't know what it means, but I've had a lot of that where I'm enjoying the thing and then going like, but I should do something else too. And I'm like, you were enjoying it. Just keep reading the thing.
Yeah. There's that weird feeling. I should, rather than just sort of embracing, because it feels like there's something missing that is like a deadline or that you have to do, right? So you're kind of trying to impose that upon yourself.
Yeah, right. But then the scary moment is when you go, there's no deadline. You know?
Yeah,
you start reading the thing and you're like, yeah, this is great. And then you go like, oh, I can finish this tomorrow. And then you go, I don't have to finish it tomorrow. And then you're just like, yeah, you're right. You should just go walk around your house now.
Yeah, I had that last night in a conversation with a friend where I wrote to him, I just don't understand why and what for anymore. And then I went for a run. I went for a run this morning. And I was like, I'm okay. Things are fine. Talk to me about Brews Brothers, creator of The League, right? Jeff Schaffer, who's also big in the Curb Your Enthusiasm world as well, right? Incredibly funny show. I know The League was largely improvised, but was Brews Brothers as well?
Yeah, I think that it's kind of their style. I'm pretty sure that it's like, because we would have like a script, but then they wouldn't really want you to, like, the anecdote I keep sharing is that Greg Schaffer came up to me one day when I was looking at my sides for a scene, and he was like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, just just memorizing this little section here. And he's like, don't memorize it. And I was like, okay. Oh, awesome. Great. Okay. So I feel like right away they're all just like, no, just do the improv, swing into the improv. The general idea, and even the audition for it was pretty improv based.
Are you improvisational yourself? Do you come from an improv background?
Yes, yeah. I grew up in Chicago. I started doing Second City when I was 13, and then moved to did the thing that Second City called the Teen Ensemble until I was like 18, and then intermittently did IO, and then after college, I moved to LA and did IO and UCB, and I did the audition for the Groundlings, but I did not go through the Groundlings.
Did you started doing Second City when you were 13? Is there like a teen program, or were you like a savant?
Yeah, I think I just started around that time, like this idea that they would do this teen ensemble thing. When I was added to it, I was like 14, and everyone else on it was like 18. And that's like when that difference in age is like really pronounced, like I was very small and like trying to do the comedy scene there. But yeah, it was I think it started a few years before I joined it because it felt very fresh when we were doing it. I don't know if it's still a thing anymore, but I assume it is.
So when you're on set with Brews Brothers, obviously, you've been in comedy for a long time. You can make up jokes while improvising, but that feels like a lot of pressure to be funny rather than do the scene and do what they've written for you. Do you feel that pressure, or are you guys improvising in that way of like, let's just keep it real?
Yeah, you end up going like, like when you're trying to be funny, it's if you fail, it's like really embarrassing, Yeah. And so I think that a lot of us came at the improv from like this perspective of what makes like good, like a live improv show good, instead of going for the joke, is going for like, no, this is real. The stakes, even though they seem insane, are real. And so it really ended up being more like, like a lot of the stuff that when I watch the show now, that I see as like, oh, wow, they really used a lot of this improv. A lot of it was just the actual reactions to things that are happening in the moment. So it's like equal parts acting and improv, Like when someone was talking about, there was some line where my character is shaming Sarah for her like cauliflower ear. And then Chewie quickly throws in that it stinks, and then I just immediately am like, it stinks? And every time I watch that, I go like, that was just, he said that and we're just reacting to, it's less so that you're trying to be funny and more so you're like, I want it to feel like it's the real thing that this character would really say. And
kind of keep the rhythm going, like keep the scene going until they say stop.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And also that was a crazy thing on set too, is there would be a lot of these times where there's some like one or two things where they let me go on like a long improvised monologue. And the whole time it's going, I'm thinking like, are they actually still recording this? This is crazy. This is going on so long. And then they just stay on. Like they know that they can like that's the way to get us to, produce even more stuff.
One of the things that I'm always surprised by their work, both with the League, with Curb, and with this, is that through improv, or while improvising, they are still able to contain so many story beats. Like the second episode alone has such a wide-ranging first act that you forget when it's coming to the end, that it has to wrap up all of these different story beats that it has set up.
I think that they see the story like really clearly, that like everyone involved in it, like down, like the editors, because as I'm watching it, I keep thinking, I'm like, man, they really edited this like perfectly, because there are so many scenes where you're thinking like, or in my memory of doing the scene, it's like we're doing a bunch of crazy shit, we're making weird jokes about all these different things, and then it all comes together so concisely. It's like, I mean, that's so obviously beyond all of the actors and comedians and stuff doing it. It's like what they're doing in the edit, and how Jeff and Greg and all the different directors are seeing the story was really. It also kind of imbues you with some confidence, where you go like, look, they know what they want to do. They know how they're going to edit it. So we can just do this, and I guess they'll just cut the best parts and make it all flow into each other. Because there are even moments too where I'll be watching, and I'll think like, oh wait, didn't I say like a bunch of other shit right there? And then they just like perfectly cut around it to like just get the right info and then move it all forward. It's all in the edit.
When did you find yourself, I mean, obviously you would be comfortable because you've seen their previous work, they can do it, but did you ever have moments on set where you felt like you had to ask, like, how is this going to cut in? What are we doing here? Or is it just kind of like, you guys got it, you knew right away, there was no need to?
Yeah, I felt just total trust with them like right away, because even as I mentioned, like the audition had a lot of improv in it, so it immediately made it feel different than other things where I kept thinking like, if they want this from us, they know what they want and they know how they're going to use it. So it was really, we're almost relaxing, I would say, where it was like, I feel like the stakes are kind of low. Like they think I'm funny. They want me to do this thing, and then they're going to figure it out. And so it really ended up, it was a lot of trust sort of right away.
That's sort of the best feeling when you get onto a project and you can just be like, well, you picked me.
Yes, that's exactly. And especially the thing with like reading the sides and Greg being like, don't do that. It really made me go like, all right, well, he just wants me to do whatever then, I guess. So cool.
Wow. I want to say congratulations on having new content in the midst of this moment where everybody wants new content.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, thank you.
How long has the show been on Netflix?
It came out on April 10th, so now 10 days.
Okay. So like 10 days. And how's the feedback been?
It's been very positive.
Yeah,
I don't really like look up reviews and stuff very much, but there I do get a couple of these things that are kind of funny to me where someone will say to me, as though I have looked at like some review or something, where they'll go like, yeah, and don't worry that like, some micro brewers didn't like this thing on the show. As though I know what that is. I'm like, oh, they don't? Wait, I don't care. Don't tell me. I don't care. I don't want to hear that.
But that's like the audience that you have to really worry about, is the micro brewery authenticity audience.
Yeah. Well, I would say that we were definitely very aware of them the whole time we were filming, where I was like, I don't want those guys to hate me, but I know they will.
No, that's the thing, is that they'll hate it at first, but then eventually they'll just feel represented as well and like enjoy it for what it is.
The same thing.
Yeah. Everybody likes to be represented, even when they're depicted poorly. Like gangsters love gangster movies.
Well, I was thinking too that part of what I think works very well with the show is that my character is so arrogant and annoying, but also like always gets his comeuppance, that it's kind of like the show saying like the show is being like, he's wrong, like, or we don't have that same perspective. Like the show kind of makes fun of all of the people who are making fun of the broader things, socially. Which I like. Like anytime my character would get like, a lot of bad things will happen to him. Every time I was like, that's good, very good. Okay, good.
How much do you like playing a character that is arrogant and annoying? There's got to be some catharsis in playing the asshole all the time. And
it's the most fun ever. Yeah, you like don't have to filter anything. Like you're like, as everyone is talking, you're just looking at like, how do I nitpick that? How do I shut that down? And it's crazy. It's almost too freeing, I would say. I really loved it.
Well, Mike, I love the show. Congratulations! It's called Brews Brothers. You. It's on Netflix right now, and I'm sure it's going to be a huge hit. It's incredibly funny. Congrats!
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for talking to me, man. Good to see you, and I'm glad to see that you're healthy and safe in your quarantine.
Yeah, you too. No, this was really great. This was, my daily dose of being social. So it feels good.
Mine too. Mine too. Time to jump back into a book and try to read.
Yeah, got to get the pajamas back on.
All right. Take care, Mike. Thanks so much.
Yeah, cool. See ya.